and a rel, one wrong hook and you will be falling down. So Ground Zero, they've picked very different champions, but the style remains the same. Will they be able to find the success that they didn't find in Game 1?
Let's see if they've had a quick enough turnaround between Game 1 and 2 to learn from the lessons, learn from their mistakes, and avoid the embarrassment of what was a very one-sided affair there in Game number 1. Antic taking the lead here in this best of 3, one game away now from that upper bracket best of 5. A chance to beat Bliss and a chance to be the first team qualifying to the PCS playoffs. As for Ground Zero, though, we've all said that we think it's going to go to 3. Well, it has to start now. And Ground Zero, just like that, will hunt for that first blood. Say, Skimmy, watch this. Watch him tick on down. He has nowhere left to run.
That's really big kill there from Ground Zero and a nice level 1 read. They know that Zonus was wanting to contest for that bush because he has the favorable level 1 matchup, right? If Poppy runs into that bush 1v1, he's just going to be taking a horrible trade. So Ground Zero, they bring Benvi up on this Nautilus and get Schönfire started early. You can see 400 gold, even more, thanks to the first strike, will be going over to this Talia. So for a champion who needs to get ahead in Snowball, definitely a position of power that you want to be starting from. As meanwhile, we check in on the mid lane. You can see Kisei here already getting so aggressive. Bone plating from both sides, actually, which is a nice adaptation from Ryoma to kind of deny that all-in trade level 1. But still, Ground Zero, they are the early game team. They do have that dominance, and the predictions, whilst a little less favorable, still showing faith in Ground Zero.
So they are showing faith, but I think a lot have lost it at the same time there, Max, given that Game 1 was so one-sided. Let's see, though. It's a phenomenal start again for them to get that first blood and to share that assist around as well. And for Kiss, they'd have a little bit more agency, you were saying, this lane, right? Doesn't have to wait to scale on through into things. To try and push in, this is it. And you can look to do battle as a result thereafter. And I tell you what, as for Benvi, that is not a hook you want to take.
Yeah, that was a really optimistic hook there. I'm not sure what he was hoping to achieve there. Almost went down. You can imagine if the Zeri actually has a little bit more zap in her tank, combined with a Brawling Knight, he would just be falling down there, but luckily doesn't have that in available, so he will be alive for the time being. Now, Swiper showing towards mid lane. Kisei trying to jump out.
Ooh, just at range there, Swiper. Yes, he looks to try and hunt for that very first blood on her own. Good pressure, though. Good warning shots to be expected. And certainly one that they can capitalize on, knowing that the Tristana will constantly shove out with that explosive shot passive work in overtime. As for Tien, though, he gets to showcase what a laning Poppy looks like. And having been the Udyr in Game 1, has to be the recipient of all this push and pressure and sustain that the champion can offer.
I mean, this is going to be one of the worst Poppy matchups ever, right? Because Zoranus has so many easy ways to deal with what Zoranus wants to do. Meanwhile, towards the spot lane, Schönfire's here. Ghost is on.
Ghost is on. They're keen for a kill right now. Draku, the focus, seemingly is the Ghost is giving King enough insurance to try and get out, but I speak too soon. He flash dashes to safety as Swiper rocks up to the party and is there to ward off any more engage. That's always the concern, right, when you see a Talia. That seismic shove, such a, I don't want to say a big hitbox, but it's so deceiving and it catches you off guard.
And every single summon spell will be used there as Tien top lane.
We're going to try and run him down with that floating Phoenix Flame, but not enough, but dangerously low on both of them.
Yeah, he actually might look for this here, Skimmy. He does have the flash available, but there will be a Udyr W coming soon off cooldown. There's so much sustain, as well as the health pot. So it's a deceptively low HP bar here from Zoranus. For Tien, we know he loves to get aggressive here. We know that he will look for any solo kill threat, and Zoranus realizing that will be forced off the wave here.
Yeah, low on mana, doesn't want to take any unnecessary risk, and knows that he already has a strong hold on this lane. The ward comes out from Tien, making sure that if I'm going to hold the lane where it is, you aren't allowed a free passage out of this one. I want to keep it just as it is right now. The vision planted in the pixel bush there by Zoranus. That's not going to deter Schönfire, though. He's going to be revealed as he does rock up to this top lane, deny it with the control wards, and continue to take down that Scuttler.
That Udyr is full HP, by the way. He didn't base or anything. He's just Udyr, and he used his W to be able to hit the wave there. So you can already see just how ridiculous the sustain is from this champion. So even though Tien was doing a nice job in terms of being able to trade there and almost get the kill, it will just eventually be sustained back up from this Udyr. Now, Schönfire does manage to get that reset off. He wasn't able to get it at level 1, so wasn't able to have his first clear with that extra buy power. But now with the Lost Chapter online and with solo lane priority in this mid lane, he'll pick up the Void Grubs.
They certainly will. Best possible start for them as Gisse gets aggressive. Rocket jumping in. We talked about this, right? Tristana certainly wants to use that in-laning phase to be aggressive rather than always holding it to try and run away from a potential gank. But continues to assert control, make sure that Schönfire is protected, and all three go their way. And I do wonder how much they'll look to try and invest towards this one, and whether or not they can look to try and get all 6 online.
Yeah, with the mid lane priority right now, there is still a TP to come on through for Ioma, so once this wave is crashed in, you would imagine he would be trying to get towards base to match the item advantage that Gisse does currently have. Nothing huge by any means, just the longsword for the time being, but thanks to this bot lane shove, it will be the dragon started up here for Antic. So this was something that they kind of gave over to Ground Zero in game 1. They were very willing to kind of trade that objective on the bot side of the map for those void grubs. But Schönfire might not be so willing to let it go here. The sweeper will spot them out here. Ground Zero, they're looking to collapse potentially.
Yeah, vision is all they'll find, however. As the minefield goes down, the shove away to safety seemingly for Dragku. But then Swiper, they think they've got him caught, but he can just dodge across the wall as Flap Flap comes out from Limis, and a rocket jump from Kisse. So keen, so calm, and still survives. How on earth does that happen there, Max? They wipe the floor and take down 3.
There's the Ground Zero aggression you love to see. Skirmishing off the back of a fantastic play by Schönfire, doing so much damage and slowing the members of Antic as they're trying to want to run away from that dragon. And then on the backside, Kisse jumping in to secure the kills for them. Let's take a look once again here. So you can see Ground Zero with Schönfire's position, he's landing so much damage with those Qs and that E. But it's really here that the chase starts to kick off. Limus using the Flap Flap over the wall here. And keep in mind, there's no flashes on the Antic bot lane from that previous play. So Kisse completely free to jump in here. And a nice flick on the back end gets them another kill. So already 4 times the amount of kills that they had in game 1 here for Ground Zero.
Which already sounds so bizarre when you say, hang on a minute, 4 times, they've only got 4 kills? Really, how weird did game 1 end up? But it is the best possible start. We say it again, time and time again. Early game has been the biggest strength here for Ground Zero, and both sides playing towards their strong side in terms of the Void Grubs and the Dragon. The Ground Zero say, you didn't punish us for top, but we will answer back here in the bot lane. Dragku again under a lot of threat, has to force a flash out as he's going to put up the shields and try and deny some damage from that Smolder, but it's not becoming easier for them here in the bot lane for Antic.
No, the flash can be expended by Dragku. They're just a nice pairing from Benvi and Schönfire, who've been working so well together to utilize this Nautilus Talia combo. I mean, even from level 1, they were getting together and linking up to find those kills. And ultimately, that is what you want to be seeing here from Schönfire, who now is really starting to expand his leaders. Top lane. Oh, no, there's UDW.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Udyr, isn't it, right? You know, suddenly he just life glitches up on the wave and you just completely forget what happened, because it's almost like that classic example of call an ambulance, but not for me, because now Tien is the one in trouble. And as long as these junglers aren't here, they're keen to continue to brawl.
Schön does have the Weaver's Wall, though. He's starting the blue buff, not looking like he wants to come up potentially here. There's no flash on the Udyr, so if he gets walled off, he's just going to go down. Here it goes.
Here it goes, but in comes Swipe at the same time as well. Zonas, how tanky are you? Getting knocked into the minefield to make sure he takes as much damage as possible, but the shield, it's unbearable. It's too much. Swiper jumps in and says, lock them down with that Magnet Storm. Tien barely limps away. How on earth has he survived? Very lucky that it's a rail ganking him, because any other jungler, I think you're dead.
Oh, I don't believe it there. Not only does Zoranus get out there, but somehow Tien as well. It feels like Miracles here is in the mid lane.
Yeah, I don't know how Kisse's not found lethal there too. Explosive shot. Oh, hang on a minute. Back to top we go, and Schönfire's caught the aftermath.
And once again, Benvi is where he needs to be. Up in the top lane, securing that kill there. What side there? Might be looking for a dive, but this is a very mobile Smolder. And he's just going to flap, flap, flap out of there.
Flap, flap, and a little bit of taunting at the same time too to say, good try, but you can't catch me in that 1v2. He had to burn the flash to defend his life there. And you can see that Swiper, all he wants to do is deny at least 1.
He will deny 1 here, but there still are these 2 remaining Void Grubs to be picked up by Schönfire. Now with Tien coming off base, it will just be an easy kill. As we take a look once again at this top lane play, so Zoran is on this Udyr, continuing the reputation of this champion being basically unkillable. It's a nice engage from Swiper here on the back end, but like you said, he is playing the Rel and a flash from TN gets himself out of the aftershock damage radius. So Zornis just assumes he's safe to continue pushing out this wave here, but Benvi, he's in the area, and Skimmy, no mana is perhaps the only thing that can actually prevent an Udyr from escaping a play.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you can see Swipe it. He also a little bit caught off guard that the Northwest made that great trek all the way to top lane, but no mana, no movement speed, no chance to survive. And unfortunately, the 5th casualty in these first 10 minutes. A completely different tune here from game 1. And now, with them being the ones that control all the Void Grubs, they are the ones that get to shove. They are the ones that get to acquire all this plate gold. And now they find themselves up by 3,000.
And look at that jungle CS lead, Skimmy. 35, 37 now is the difference and the lead for Schönfire here on this Taliyah. So finally, he's been enabled. He's not playing this defensive poppy pick that we saw him very much struggle on in game 1. Now he has the agency to be aggressive, and it's looking incredibly good for them here as they push up in towards this bot lane. Dragku, he smells something's funny here. There's so much damage though here. No hook to be found as of yet. Ground Zero, they're just controlling this for the time being. You can see Kisei hovering down. In fact, both top laners as well, walking down to this skirmish. Here goes Swiper.
They're all keen to try and make this fight a winning one right now, as out comes the lightning crash and the first kill is found. That bounty on Schönfire ceasing to exist. A second zap to try and catch up Lemus, but it's not enough. They've taken 2. They'll be happy with that. The real goal was there's another dragon. Everybody actually wanted to converge on only dragon number 2.
Oh, Skimmy, it feels so bad there. Ground Zero, they have such a firm control of the area with their vision, but they simply don't respect the roam. They don't respect the engage. And yes, you have a fantastic gold lead on your jungler, but what does it matter if he's getting one shot before the fight even starts? So quick kills going over to Antic, as well as that dragon, really halters this Ground Zero early game dominance.
It certainly does. Puts a bit of a dampener on things, as both teams clearly playing for different objective win conditions. As Lemus maybe getting a little bit too big for his boots there, looking to really make sure that King has to take a very defensive back to base. Swiper and Dominus playing goalkeeper, waiting in the shadows, looking to try and see what Shern and Benvi are up to. A TP coming in here from Ground Zero as they look to try and force a 3v3 in Rox Ryoma. He says, have you forgotten my Azir? Once again, I get to pop off. I'm 2-0 so far. Swiper limping away. Tien can't catch him as a Poppy, stunned up by the Braum, locked him down, surrounded by 3, and it's just too easy.
Oh, Ground Zero, it hurts so much to watch. You can see getting way too optimistic once again. Schönfire falls down for the second time in as many minutes. And plain and simple, when you're playing an early game comp, you cannot afford these deaths. You cannot afford Antic to be continually slowing down the tempo like they've been able to do as a result of these picks. And Skimmy, look who's getting the kills. It's all onto Ryoma as we take a look once again here. Nice double stun here. Zoranus doing so much work with that empowered Phoenix stance to chunk Schönfire out. The Ryoma just jumps in, takes out this Taliyah, and yes, there's a TP from Tien, but where is his damage? There's no wall slam to come through, so he's not able to one-shot Swiper. And then plain and simple, this Poppy is just way too far up. Another kill going over to Ryoma.
Yeah, carefully gifted across to their star mid laner, and now the only one in the game with a bounty. We know how the story really does end. We've seen the chapters, and it doesn't really feel like the writing is on the wall that you've done that devious dance with the devil again. You've opted to allow this champion to go on through. You think you've got the answers, but he's there to haunt you. And you have to wonder really what Ground Zero can do to try and answer back in this situation, because yes, they've got the siege, they've got Benvi always rotating first, they've got the seismic shove, it packs a punch. If they can't get these kills, they are certainly in a rough affair.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to actually pick up anything on the back end there besides the ghost from King. So a really nice engage, but a even better counter engage from Dragku there, who's able to put up the shield, able to walk away. And ultimately, no kills will be going over into the favor of Ground Zero. Now, they will keep priority over this Herald, which is the important thing and kind of the objective that they had been setting up all this vision to get in the first place. With bringing Lemus over, they should be able to pick this one up. So, yes, the early game dominance has stalled, but it hasn't completely stopped, and that's the important thing. They're still getting this objective and hopefully continuing to expand their gold lead.
Still just below a 2,000 gold lead in favor of Ground Zero. It's not a complete disaster by any stretch of the imagination, despite the last few minutes definitely becoming Antic favoured. It does bring into question just how strong these two teams are, given that there's been a tendency to try and engage in those full-on 5v5s once the Dragon is available. Still, Schönfire, the most fed member in the game right now, with 6 and 200 gold to his name. He's definitely up there, but Lemus not too far behind, but certainly after the last few kills in his favor, Ryoma now is really the only one at the top.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see Ryoma on his here not actually be sole possession of gold lead with like 1,000 in front of everyone else. So I'm sure Ground Zero will be grateful to see that as well. It was interesting to see also the itemization coming out here for, especially Kisei here on this Tristana. He had the Vamp Scepter really early on in the lane. Perhaps just failing to sustain it provides him. And he's picked up the Kraken Slayer now. So we'll be able to do a decent amount of damage as this game progresses. The real worry, though, is who is actually killing Zoranus. You can see Iceborne Gauntlet completed already, working his way towards full armor, basically ignoring the damage from Talia, who realistically isn't going to be able to DPS Udyr too much in these fights anyway. So now you kind of have to wait for this Smolder to come online with that 225 stacks to be able to deal that true damage necessary to take him down.
You're going to completely circumvent him, need to try and become a Leandri's monster. It's phenomenal little buffer on the hook there from Benvi, getting him out of what was a bit of a deadly trap set up by Antic. The TP coming on in, and as soon as Zoranus rocks up, they say, we're going to look to try and take you on down, but then they've forgotten just how strong he is. Keeper's verdict to only knock back Dragq. And surprise, surprise, everybody coming here because a Dragon is on the table.
I wanted a little bit of a chunk there, but it is an Udyr, like you mentioned, just able to awaken that W and basically negate all of the damage coming through. Now with 8 seconds left on this Dragon, this setup is eerily similar to how Antic like to take their fights. They've got the members in front, and Benvi going to have to flash out, but here goes Swiper.
He's flashed out, but not enough can be found. Lightning crash into Magma Storm. It's a kill that's not being found onto Benvi. He's still alive. Zoranus, the tanky Udyr, does get peppered from afar by this Smolder, who snipes away a double. Now hunting for multiple as Sneeze is catching them all. And they get everything they could so desire. A triple found by this champion. Please, ban it.
There is the fight in favor of Ground Zero. This time they get all the members of Antic running back into them. And that is exactly what you want as this Smolder, as this Talia. They're able to find the fight. 3 kills going over to Lemus there. So we take a look at how this all started. You can see Antic, they've got the initial footing in the river to be able to start this fight, but Swiper really pulls the trigger here, signals that, okay, Benvi's low, let's go in. But on the backside, it's massive by TN to buy space, and then Smolder, Lemus, Schönfire, they're all free hitting here. Ryoma dashes forward but gets stunned up by the Talia E, and then when Kisei flashes forward, I mean, yes, he goes down trying to get King, but Lemus, you know, he's a chew, his mum coming out there, able to find so much value. As it will actually be the Dragon slain by Lemus himself here, who's now going to head back to base, pick himself up the Quick Blades. Really just bathing in cash after that fight going in their favor here. TN using his TP to get down towards his bot lane, pick up a turret in response as well. So it was once a very close affair, now 4,000 gold, almost 5 actually separating the two teams here. And the question becomes, how do Antic respond? Is it going to be a classic Ground Zero Antic game where Ground Zero, they have this lead, they're able to, you know, really secure themselves an advantage, but then they all fall down in one team fight?
And it's a tough one, Max. It certainly is a case the time is ticking, because if you look at Smolder, if you look at Lemus, he's already got 200 stacks. He's not too far away from ascending to be that absolutely terrifying Dragon that can simply 1v9. And if it's anything to go by, if the Dragons have been that go-to for the 5v5s, well, Baron is not that far off.
Yeah, and Baron from either team is actually quite quick this game. I mean, you have the Talia, Tristana, Smolder combo, who will be able to shred that incredibly quickly. And meanwhile, Antic, obviously the Azir and Zeri, with those tanky members to tank it, are incredibly efficient at doing that objective as well. But look at mid lane here. Zoranus does have an inside track on Lemus. There's no flash on this Smolder.
Yeah, he's just going to dash across the wall there. Flat, 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 flash from Dragq. Looking to lock him down. Glacial Fissure say, if we can't get you, we'll get your support instead. Maybe the focus, but they're unable to find him. Mega blast code knocking Zoranus through space and time back into the river. And they get denied that pick. What looks like a cool Eddie carry is a bit of a bait in the end.
Huge response from Ground Zero. The Weaver's Wall was absolutely immaculate, separating Dragq and Zoranus off from the rest of their team. And it looked like an ideal fight there for Lemus, able to just pump out all this Smolder damage into these members who are spaced away from him. Ryoma here is getting caught out here. Teen and Schönfire.
Gotta be careful. Easier said than done, though. No chance to use that Emperor's Divide. No chance to flash because it's not available. And simply gets collapsed upon by 3. Yet another tower now that Ground Zero will be looking to achieve as they go for the trifecta, taking every single outer.
And how good have Ground Zero been at playing around this Talia? 229, 100% KP from this Schönfire. Whether it's a Nautilus or a Poppy, there is always someone to link up with him, provide that CC necessary to really unpack his damage. And you can see Draku just narrowly dodging both the Seismic Shove and the Dredge line there. But mid lane will be the focus here. Ryoma still on a respawn and no TP available, so this next little window is firmly in the control of Ground Zero. As there we go, Lemus cresting that 225 mark there, the burn coming online. So, I mean, yes, there are some tanky members of Antic. You can be as tanky as you like, but a true damage execute doesn't discriminate.
No, certainly doesn't. It will lock you on down, and that's exactly what they're looking to try and do on towards Swipe, who says, I'll turn that little moment into a fight that maybe wins in our favor. It's just not easy enough. Double kill found by Lemus. The burn is there. The executes are found. And it all starts with a rogue hook from a Nautilus.
Zonas on the back end here has the mobility, will be able to get stunned up here and vaguely just run out on the end of it. But with that chunk, you do imagine Ground Zero are going to be looking to head towards this Baron. There's a low HP bar on Benby, so he has the base and take the long walk back. But it looks like Antic is completely giving this objective. Ryoma's heading bot lane, so 2 quick kills followed by a Baron here for Ground Zero. They are looking to equalize this series.
But they certainly are. As easy as you like it as they take down the territorial Baron, and it really is the case of just walking into the enemy Raptor camp and saying, we'll scout you out before you even get a chance to contest us.
Yeah, just a nice flick back separating the fights. You can see that all this zone control from Ground Zero really prevents the members, especially Zoranus and Ryoma, from getting as aggressive as they would want. Yes, this Udi is tanky, but not really against the magic damage that is provided here from Schönfire. So Ryoma will be able to get his base off, but now with Baron in hand, you would imagine there will be a standard 2-lane setup here from Ground Zero. Mid and bot is looking like the play, especially with this dragon spawning in 30 seconds. So they're going to set up here in this quadrant, and we saw from that previous play just how hard it is for anyone on Antic to walk into a Talia without vision. Level 14 here now is Schönfire. 80 CS up over his opponent. Yes, he's 2-2, but don't let that deceive you. His damage is not to be reckoned with.
Yeah, it certainly is a phenomenal performance. What a bounce back from game 1 after looking fairly flustered and frustrated.
Whoa.
How the Poppy jungle is working as Kisei really leaping across and looking to try and bait out all their attention. And they say, okay, not sure why you've done that one, Kisei. He concedes his life across to Ryoma, who finds kill number 5, but not before Rail falls on down in the process. Still, Ground Zero trading it up, and now the Smolder becomes godlike.
Yeah, that was a straight grief from Kisei, but somehow it ends up going in the favor of Ground Zero. This Smolder just does so much damage at this stage in the game as the flick lands onto King here.
Yeah, King just doesn't have the range, does he? He doesn't have the range to contest. He goes back to the honey fruit inside that base. Who's Drake, who's taking up the world. But even then, is not tanky enough to endure this amount of pressure. Yet another seismic shove. Just another kill, another ace in the hole, yet another double for the champion of Smolder. I mean, what a beautiful champion this one really is. It just can do no wrong here. Hunting for double digits as Ground Zero go knocking on the front door and say, game 3, it's not too far away now. One sneeze and they're down to 50% max. Antic are scurrying out of the fountain to defend.
Yeah, I don't think they can end here just because of the respawn time, as everyone except Ryoma is up and available for Antic. But certainly putting a dent in the defenses of that red side as Lemus is 9-0. Playing so confident here on this Smolder, level 15. And now it really becomes a tall order to even walk, to even exist on the same screen as this champion. There's another seismic shovel land. Schönfire, level 15 as well. They're going to just default back to this dragon, pick that up, head back to base, and then potentially put the bow on this game. But they don't even want to reset. They don't even want to think about that. They've got a wave here in the bot lane. And with this last remaining couple seconds of Baron, they want to break this last remaining tier 2.
And they certainly do, looking for tower number 8. As they look to really make sure that there is no way back in for this one for Antic, not leaving anything up for chance. As once again, Benvi jumps in, hot flash, disengage to safety. Out comes the lightning crash, double tap for Limus. He's hunting for more as they shove back free. King limping away to safety, but Limus completely untouched. He's found 3, there becomes 4, and if it wasn't for King surviving on a sliver of HP, that would have been our first pentakill of the split.
Oh, it was so close. He could have fallen down to the burn there if Limus had able to attack him one more time here. But nonetheless, there's only one remaining Nexus turret, and with only Dragku respawning now, you have to imagine Ground Zero, they're wanting to equalize the series right here.
That they certainly do. Antic were able to do it in 30 minutes. Ground Zero said, we'll do it one better. How about we smash it out in 25? As they put the final pieces together, the Nexus completely exposed. But yet they're still not convinced that this is game ending. They've lost their mid jungle. Zonus is flanking. He's running in. And whilst you're CC immune, you're not Smolder immune. So Legendary becomes the Smolder yet again. As Limus is 14-0 max. He is simply a beast. Double found.
This time.
As he once again hunts for yet another pentakill moment.
He's gonna get it.
And he's gonna look to do it. And he is gonna find it to put the nail in the coffin.
He gets a quadra kill, he gets a pentakill, 18 kills here for Limus. And what a turnaround from game 1. Ground Zero, 26 kills in his